All right, so we're going to revisit this project as well and utilize constraints because we want to practice those habits. The preliminary videos are mostly about just learning the skills, and I was learning some skills along as well. I was also regurgitating content very quickly that I had made available to me. But now that we've done that, I'd like to kind of improve what we've done by prioritizing constraints and relationships over dimensions.
Now we've got to figure out what the caption is.
That's all you.
No caption. Sorry.
I thought you were going to label screw designations. All right, so here's why we're going to get away from constraints. Let's say that for this part, most parts would only really need to be modified because of scale, or you need to make a revision or an edit, make it larger proportions, whatever it is that's going to happen. If we do that, right now we know there's some relationships established. This hole is located in the middle of the height. Okay, it's 1.5. This is a 3x3, and we also know that it's 3x3. It's a third of the way. But if we want to change the dimensions of this piece, let's say we make it a 4x4. Well, to do that, we got to come in here and change things twice. I'll show you how to make that so we change things once. I'm recording. You think I was just talking to myself? And we lost that relationship. We wanted that hole right in the middle, and it's not in the middle anymore. We also lost that 1/3 proportion. So I'm going to show you a way to redo this carpenter beehive block, what we were calling it in the last video, because I couldn't think of an application that this part would really be prominent in, maybe like a coolant passageway or something. If you got an idea, put that in the comments section. But let's go ahead and just redraw that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do in the first video was I did a regular rectangle. We're going to start from a center point rectangle. We're going to try and keep the origin in the middle of our part. And then I'm going to dimension in one side of the rectangle. And I'm going to just set an equal constraint between the two. This way, in the future, if I want to change this to a 4x4, oh shucks, the first number is the diameter, and then the second number is the length. I switched tabs and I realized it was not recording tab, so let's just go to on sheet and create a new document. Well, that or I'm gonna have a very raw piece of footage here.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't edit it because I don't have the time. All right, so you heard me, but you didn't get to see it because I was in the different tab that wasn't recording. But do center point rectangle and dimension one side at 3, and then just set an equal constraint because you probably know if this part always remain a square or not. And for our purposes, we're going to assume that it's true. Now we're going to go ahead and extrude that. Nice.
Yeah, that's it. All I have to do?
Yeah, and you want to finish sorting them?
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay. Do I have to go with you? Yes.
All right, so what I did was extrude that 2 inches, and our origin's right in the middle. Hopefully you were watching closely and saw that extrude was a symmetric extrude. Okay, so contrary to our other part, which started in the corner and went this way, our origin's in the middle of the part, which will be helpful. Now let's go ahead and locate that hole based on relationships using no dimensions. The first part's pretty easy because all we got to do is the construction line from midpoint to midpoint. Okay, it was in the middle of the height of the block. And we can just make this a construction line. I'm going to view this normal too, just to make that a little easier to see. That's right in the middle. Okay, now the second part's a little trickier. We have to find a third. So this is where, if you've ever studied anything about geometry proofs, geometry relationships, this was where that type of knowledge will come in handy. We're going to use all construction lines again. And basically, I'm just thinking here. I'm looking at an example. I'm looking at two examples. I'm trying to decide which one would be the best one. Okay, I see what we're doing here. We're going to make a line here. I'm trying to think. I don't think this one's necessary, but let's put it in. Let's create that X. Okay, and we've got an X here. And then the next thing we're going to do is put a line from just like so. And then we're going to do another line. Just like so. Okay, and then what that does is we can take a line here and go straight down perpendicular. And there we go. We are a third of the way in. This should be, if I was to measure from here to here, 1 inch. Let's try that. 1. Okay, now if I add this dimension, I'm not going to like it because what I'm doing is over defining. By geometric laws, that has to be 1/3. The whole block's 3, so it has to be 1. Watch. Click, enter. It comes up gray because it's telling me that's not necessary. Awesome. So now we got the location of our first hole. You might need to go back and kind of watch that slowly. That's all right if you do. But let's go ahead and make this hole diameter of 0.6. Okay, and then we're going to do a revolve cut. So all we need to do is select that and automatically select that. The axis is that edge right there, and then hit check. All right, and what we did was added this donut. Now remember, it's a tunnel, so we got to go back in and hit remove. And now we have it. All right, now here's the cool part about this. Go in. Let's say we change our dimensions to 5. One change. All parameters of the block remain the same. This is still a third. This is still a square, and it's still in the middle. Doesn't matter whether we do 5 or we do 15 or 25 or 30. Whatever it is, 14.874, this hole will always be a third of the way from the edge, and it will always be in the middle. And you can still see it's still curved. So in the next video, I'll show you how to dimension this part out. And just another example where those geometry proof knowledge and relationships come in handy and save you load of time. Imagine those last 3 changes I made. We had it set up the other way.